So are you
Yes,
able
we
to
can see your screen, sir.
Okay, great. So my name is Rishi Gupta. I am also an IIC Innovation Ambassador and Assistant Professor in CSE Department. So without wasting any time over here, let's start with the discussion.
Okay, sir, your screen has left somewhere.
Is my screen not visible?
No, not visible now.
No, it is visible.
It's visible, sir. It's visible.
Maybe you will have to pin my screen. I'm not sure.
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay, great. So the topic of my presentation is design thinking, basically. So without wasting much time, let's start with the discussion. So objective is to understand the innovation development using the design thinking process, right? So before I start talking about design thinking, I want you to appreciate what innovation is all about. And I am just going to demonstrate it with the help of one of the small video which I have taken from internet.
South Korea, a country devoid of oil.
So Praveen, just let me know if my this audio is audible. Like
a city where 1/4 of Koreans live. South Korea, a country devoid of oil.
It is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
South Korea, a country devoid of oil. Seoul, a city where 1/4 of Koreans live, with one of the world's highest gasoline consumption. The situation is getting worse. Car usage is increasing. Petroleum costs are rising. Parking spaces are scarce. People are stressed out. Every day, a Seoul driver wanders 500 meters to find a parking space. In a month, this equals 15 kilometers or 1 liter of gas. Exoil, one of the 4 oil companies in Korea, took action. It is on a mission to save oil. Right here, right now. Thus begins the HERE campaign. It has set up a HERE balloon for each parking space. As a car parks in it, the balloon falls. When the car exits, the balloon rises. Cars can spot these balloons from afar. They can spot open parking spaces without wandering. Finding quick parking means saving oil. One easily spotted parking spot is worth 1 liter of oil saved.
책장에서 항상 가니까 신기해서.
HERE balloons have saved drivers' gas expenses through a new and interesting method. S-Oil, the oil seller, gained the impression of an oil-saving company. Save oil. Save time. Save money. HERE, taking action for a better world. Save oil. Save Earth. S-Oil.
So I hope you guys like the video and like what the idea behind this innovation is, right? So let's begin with let's try to understand what he was talking about over here. So in this video, there is one company, Soil, and what they have done is like they have reduced the time for finding the parking space, right? Which saves oil, which saves money, which saves time, right? So that's what their innovation was all about. Now, if you see this Venn diagram over here, let's try to understand more about innovation. So there are 3 main dimensions over here. One is feasibility, another is desirability, and the third one is viability, right? So feasibility is obviously basically from the technology perspective, whether technically the innovation is possible or not. And viability is basically assessing the from the business and finance perspective, basically. Okay, whether particular solution or innovation is it possible to implement it within a defined cost, or you could say in less cost, right? And the third dimension is of desirability, right? Whether it is really needed or not, the innovation or the solution is really needed or not. So if you see the common area in the Venn diagram, this is where innovation is. This is how innovation is defined. Like it should be, the idea should always be feasible, it should be viable, and it should always be desirable. So considering this is what innovation is, so let's try to understand how do we achieve this innovation in any of the solution we work upon, right? So there is a proper defined process which we could follow to achieve innovation, right? So first thing which you see over here is empathize. Second thing which you see over here is define. Third one is ideate. Fourth one is prototype, and fifth one is test, right? So rest of the slides are nothing but just briefing about these topics only. So let's try to understand what empathize is all about. It says learn about your audience. Define says construct point of view based on your user needs. Ideate says brainstorm and come up with the creative solutions. Prototype means build representation of your ideas, and test means you need to test your solutions and ideas. So what does actually empathy mean? So empathy is the ability to step into the shoes of another person, aiming to understand their feelings and perspectives, and to use that understanding to guide our actions, right? So I took it from internet, and I hope you got the point of empathy. So why do we need to be empathizing when we are developing any innovative solution? The main idea behind this is to basically we should understand our stakeholders, right? If we don't understand our stakeholders, what the challenges they are facing, and the challenges they are facing, will not be able to come up with a exact solution what they are actually looking for, right? So empathy is the first phase of design thinking process, wherein we start interacting with the different stakeholders and try to understand their problems, right? So if you see in the second step, what is written, define, right? And in the parenthesis, I have written the problem. So for example, in the video which we have seen, right, there are multiple ways they could optimize, the oil saving parameter is the problem they have taken. But then they have limited the scope just to the parking space. They have not taken up the traffic problem as a solution, right? Or as an approach to look out for the solution for saving oil and money, right? So they have defined the scope of the problem to a very specific point. Okay, they will just be working on the parking space, right? So this is one of the important phase in which we basically, in the empathy phase, we try to understand what different problems stakeholders are facing, right? And then we try to articulate the specific problems which could be worked out, right? And they limit down and we need to limit down the scope of the problem as well. After identifying the problem, we need to ideate upon it, and we need to bring novelty into it. But when we say novelty, how would we get to know, okay, what is novelty, right? So we need to know what are the existing solutions which are already there for a particular problem. So in order to build a new solution, you always have to have a basic understanding of whatever the existing solutions are, and you need to do the survey and find out the limitations in them, right? So once you know the limitations in them, you could define okay, and then you could start brainstorming. Basically, you could create mind map, you could sketch, you could play role based action or drama or something, and then you could prepare storyboard. But then all these activities are basically done to understand how you could come up with the new solution for the existing problem, right? So this is one of the important ways. And after you ideate, then you need to do the rapid prototyping. So I'll just play another video to make you understand what the prototyping is all about.
Design thinking sometimes has the aura of black magic. It's not. In fact, at its core is something every toddler does. Building things. Prototyping. And great prototyping is fast. Remember the funnel your team's filling with empathy? Well, by the time you're ready to prototype, you You've already invested a lot of time and effort. You can't just build one prototype, watch it fail, and decide you didn't learn anything useful. You've got to build many prototypes and work as hard as you can to get something out of the bottom of that funnel. But you don't have an endless supply of money or time. So you need to make many prototypes per unit of time and per unit of money. That's why design thinking relies on rapid prototyping. Everyone on the team can rapid prototype. A web developer and a marketer can collaborate on a paper prototype of a website, or they can collaborate on a prototype of a new org structure with their other colleagues. Or add a VC to the mix and they can prototype the financing structure for a business. Invite every part of your organization into rapid prototyping sessions. Each of those perspectives is another chance to learn. And with all those hands working quickly, there are more chances to try things. So you learn faster. Quickly compost your failures and course correct. Rapid prototypes are made of cheap materials, so you can make many versions and learn what results a variety of approaches might yield. Or you can build prototypes to test different parts of the solution. Like with a works-like prototype and a looks-like prototype. Rapid prototyping doesn't eliminate the need for specific skill sets, though. Experts get to take all the ideas and knowledge from the rapid prototyping sessions and apply them to the careful work they do as they build the market-ready website or draw up the financing papers. You worked so hard to fill your funnel at the top. Go fast so you'll have a chance to try everything you can to generate value for the business. Let your whole team rapid prototype and build something great together.
Okay, so again, the idea was to convey you guys like why rapid prototyping is important, right? So how would you get to know, okay, whether a particular solution is really good and really the required one? So you need to build small proof of concepts and you need to build the small prototypes which could really solve the problem, and that too in large number of prototypes you need to build, so that you could understand and compare between them, okay, which prototype is better in comparison to the other, and you could come up with the best solution out of it, right? So that is why rapid prototyping is another important phase. And once you have built a prototype, right, so you need to test it, what you actually ideated, right? What is the actual idea which you wanted to implement? Is it following? Is your prototype finally following what is actually required and what is actually prototyped, right? So you need to test that, and then it's an iterative process, right? So once you have empathized, you have understood the stakeholders, you have define the problem which you are going to work upon, you define the scope of the problem, you try to ideate on that particular problem, and then you come up with a solution, you do the required survey, you do the brainstorming with the team and all, and once you ideate on the solution, you build a rapid prototype of multiple rapid prototypes of that, and then you try to test that, and it's an iterative process, it's an infinite process which keeps on continuing, and then your solution keeps on evolving, right? So that is what overall design thinking process is. And I think that's it from my side. If you have any questions, I am open for that. Thank you.
So it's a question time for all of you students. So it was great topic that Rishi sir has covered immaculately. So if you have any questions, please type in the chat section. That can be taken up later on.
Okay. Maybe Purnendu sir, you could take the control by the time people are thinking about it.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you.